All right, I'm gonna go ahead and try to shoot a video here of me building or making this bonding strip. I mentioned in the early part of the video, or the early video, that I put this tape on here so that as I build this bonding strip, that'll meet the contour of the car. It won't stick to the car and I won't have trouble getting it off of there. So this should probably, we'll see. It should work properly, but the evidence will be once the fiberglass the resin is dried. So I'm gonna put a little bit on here right now so that I can take this. And again, I'm gonna do a layer of matte and cloth, and we'll see how this works out. I think as I'm doing this, I'm realizing I probably should have put a little bit of the resin on the body so that the mat will stick to it. Excuse me. Will stick to the body, but I'll adapt as we go along here and we'll get it done. I think ultimately it doesn't have to look pretty, it just has to meet the contour of the car. And again, this is the surface. This part of it's going to be the surface that will go on the inside, so this will be the part I'll end up using. So I can always prep this surface, clean it, sand it, whatever you want to call it, to make sure that I get a surface that's workable or usable. So I may not film excuse me, I may not film this whole thing just because it's probably going to be a little chaotic. What I might do is I'll recap it afterward and kind of share with you where my problems or issues were and what I needed to do doggone it, what I needed to do to overcome it. So we'll see. I'll go ahead and video the whole thing. If I can edit it to where it ends up looking okay and it makes sense and it doesn't look too chaotic, then I'll publish the whole thing. Otherwise I'll edit it down to the parts that are useful. I may have put a little too much hardener in this because it seems like it's starting to go off already. Actually, let's just flip that over. There we go. The nice thing with this mat is I actually cut it long enough down here. I don't know if it picks it up in the video because I'm busy working on this, but way down at the bottom here it wasn't sticking to the body, but I cut the mat long enough that I just folded it up over and in, and I'll just get back in with a Dremel tool or something afterward and cut and trim as needed. And that was totally expected that I was going to end up having to do that. So the bonding strip's probably a little wider than is necessary. Yeah, I should have used a little less hardener in this because this is starting to go off. Probably should have also taped more of the car off because I'm getting some resin in this area here. Again, the car is going to be painted, so all that's going to just be, I just sand that off or have the body shop sand it off when they get ready to prep it for paint. So not a big deal. was going to try to get the cloth on at the same time, but I think with with the resin going off as quick as it is, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to accomplish that. I may have to do it in a second application, but let's see what we get. But it's unrehearsed, so you get what you get here. Looks like it's gonna be okay. It just became quite the mess doing it, but I think I may try to put at least one piece of cloth on here and kind of see how that works out. I actually brought a brush, but I didn't end up using it. I don't know that the brush would have been better or not though, because it might be okay for the cloth, but certainly not for the mat, because you would have just pulled it around and moved it around. Let's see here. Okay, this one's got to be here. And again, kind of doing it live, you kind of see what you're up against or see the difficulties that occur. So I think we'll be okay. Let's see here. Well, it's a little chaotic getting there. But I think it'll be okay. And again, it's a bonding joint, so it doesn't really have to look pretty, it just has to follow the contour of the body. And I may put one more layer of cloth on this. And let this do what it needs to do, cure up, maybe do a scuff sand on it, and put one more layer of cloth. Give me a little extra thickness to it. I'll kind of figure out what this thickness is. I'll compare it against those store-bought bonding strips and see what kind of makes sense. So thanks for watching. Looked a little chaotic. I'm sure there's some humor in this for those of you that are watching, but thanks for watching, and you'll see the next installment and kind of see where we go from it next. Okay, wanted to shoot a short video here. This is that piece that I took the video of, that I made of the bonding strip that I'm going to use for the replacement part. Replacement area I'm going to do. So I wanted to show that. Came out actually pretty good. Obviously ended up a little bit of a mess, but this all gets cut out, so not a big deal. Also wanted to show the part that I got from J&D Corvette. So here is that actual part, and I gotta commend these guys. I mean, one, they did a special order for me. They did it at a very, very reasonable price. What they did, I think what they had to do is, because they didn't have a mold for this part, they took their mold out for the whole quarter panel, just made this portion up for me, and then obviously cleaned it up and I bought it. So gonna fit up in here like this. I tape marked about where I need to cut. I'll probably, you know, it's a measure twice, cut once kind of deal, so I'll have to go back through and just recheck everything. Probably try to do that in the next couple of days. Again, kind of masked off where I believe I need to cut. Just double check all those dimensions. I'll cut it. I'll start fitting this piece in place and get it bonded in. So very, very excited about what's happening with this. Again, I really gotta compliment J&D Corvette. The guys did a special order for me. They did it at a price I thought was very reasonable. Did it very quickly. They do sell online, so I would check those guys out. They're down in Bellflower in California. They're south of where I'm at. So for me, it makes it not essentially geographically easy, but they're close enough to where, you know, if I had some sort of big parts I needed to buy, I can go pick it up and not have to pay, you know, some sort of shipping charge. So I'm gonna cut this video right here. When I get back into starting to work on this, I'll start taking some video clips of it, and of course, obviously, I'll get this stuff published as I move forward. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this thing up on. I've got some ramps. I'll get it up on ramps so I can elevate this area so it's a little more at eye level to work, a little easier to work on, and I'll publish some stuff on it. So have a great day. Thanks for checking it out.